Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are back with the Barbells, Burgers and Bitchin' podcast. This is episode 12. And if you haven't guessed by the title already, this episode is going to be all about how not to fuck up your goals in 2026. We thought this was probably going to be the most apt theme to kick off the first podcast of the new year, because both as coaches and just general people, we obviously see this happen a lot, and people tend to have all these big all guns blazing ideas for 2026 or any new year, and they tend to not stick to it. So we're going to tell you how not to do that, and what we teach our clients, and how we make sure that they're successful with their goals, and how we're successful with our goals, so you can also be successful with your goals. Now, actually, before I was going to start this podcast, I was going to look at the statistic of how many people fail their New Year's resolutions. So whilst I ask the first question, I'm going to Google that because I actually never got around to doing it. But we are going to be kicking this off with a good old question, as usual. Not really funny, this one, though, unless depends on your answer, I guess. But
I can make it.
What's one goal you have set yourself this year, personal and sort of professional?
What a good-looking question.
I know.
And while you sort those stats out as well, I've got a stat for you.
Oh, go on.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Oh, take that one into the new... That's a good one, actually, for this time. Where did that come from, Gandhi? Fucking hell.
I just had it loaded. Like, so as soon as you said stats, I was like, I've got one for you.
Love that. That's very true, though, guy. Yeah, you never come out for the...
Yes, I do. A lot of my stuff's packed full of wisdom. Don't do drugs is full of wisdom. If people enjoy hobby horsing, but I don't get it, that's full of wisdom.
Sure. I would say more wisdom, less philosophical, though. You don't really hear many philosophers talk about hobby horsing.
That's because not a lot of the philosophers were around when hobby horsing was a thing.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think of some famous philosophers.
How many?
Okay. I guess I'll start answering the question then. So is it personal and professional, one goal for the year?
Yeah.
So I think, I say it's personal, it's kind of, is it work related? You can be the judge. My personal one is to read more.
That was mine!
I told you this before.
So I didn't know that was actually one. I thought you were suggesting one that I'd mentioned.
No, because I was going to say, like, when I get a lot of information, or when I get my information, I tend to use like podcasts or videos because I'm more of a visual learner. I do enjoy reading. Which is, I get confused. Which is fiction and non-fiction? Which is the stories?
Fiction.
Yeah, I can't read fiction. Because my brain only works where I can only read stuff that I'm going to benefit from. So a lot of the stuff I do read is about training stuff. Yeah. A lot of the times I get that information, it's from videos or podcasts, whereas I've got a load of books, and the books I have read around training or similar stuff, I find really interesting. So I do want to get it. It's just that I've got an attention span of a flea. Okay. So
I'd probably argue you just haven't found the right book then, because I used to be of the same opinion.
I can't read fiction.
No, but I used to think that until I found a really good fiction book, and then I was like, oh, I'm hooked.
No, I just can't. My brain does. If I'm going to read something and take something in, it has to be something that's going to...
Can you remember the first trilogy of books that I actually read straight through and didn't put down?
50 Shades?
No. I've definitely told you this before. So this is a bit of a mini test.
Mockingbird, The Hunger Games.
Oh, well done. I think I've literally told you that once in like a fleeting conversation. So that's
come at me, bro. So yeah, I think for me it's going to be read more, because I do enjoy reading books. It's just, for whatever reason, last year, a lot of it I was taking information from videos or podcasts. So to supplement my quest for knowledge, I'm going to add reading. And like do you have
a goal, like a number of books you'd want to read, or are you just gonna?
I don't think I have a goal in terms of number of books. I think the main thing is to be consistent. So
how are you going to measure that then?
Either X amount per day, or it might be X amount of pages per week. Might be a more realistic one for me.
Go on to set yourself a goal. I'll keep you. We'll all keep you accountable. How many pages? Or
because if you said 70, that should be 10 a day.
70 what? Sorry.
70 pages a week, which should be 10 a day. But it just means that if for whatever reason I miss a day, I can always double up on another day.
20 pages another day, yeah.
Yeah, so it might be 70 pages per week of book.
Do you think realistically you're going to be able to keep track of that?
Yeah, look at the page numbers.
Yeah, but you're going to remember the numbers each time. I wouldn't. I'm only asking this
I could
because
put them in my notes.
Okay.
I could.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm just thinking, and this is what I have to do with myself, and funnily enough, do with my clients. Like, if there's going to be more areas for friction or more things that you need to do, it's probably going to make it more likely that you're not going to do it. So is that going to set you up for somewhat failure?
If I'm 1 page a day.
1 page. I mean, that's a fair, but I mean, if it's more than what you did last year, I still think it's valid.
I did read last year. It was very just inconsistent hit and miss, and there'd be some times where I'd be really on it and then I'd fall off.
Okay, so 10 pages a day. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, I think I could do that. And then professionally, it's going to be I want to try and go more into the performance side of stuff, which in May when I've got 1 or 2 people competing in powerlifting. So that's going to be a good opportunity for me to kind of step more into that realm of, would you say powerlifting's performance? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just know because it's like, you could argue when people think of performance, is it more like quote unquote sport, whereas like lifting weights is the sport? So would you class it?
Powerlifting's a sport just because it's
yeah. I know. I'm just saying. I think it's a sport. I'm just saying, like, people go,
just because it's not in the Olympics.
Yeah, so I want to try and go into the more of the performance stuff because that really interests me and it's what I do personally as well. So I compete in that. So I want to try and
you're going to smash that goal then.
Break more into that. Well, I've got one. Yeah, I've got 2 people in May, and then maybe another person in the summertime. So potentially 3, and then it might end up being more than 3 if with nationals, or if people just want to do more towards the back end of the year if they don't qualify for nationals. So, I want to try. I want to get on that to try and just trying to think of some witty analogy. Like, keep the sword sharp. But I like that. But I kind of had a stroke, so I forgot.
My personal goal.
What are yours?
Well, I've got a few, but I think the one that is the easiest to probably track is
give up
reading.
The hard drugs. Reading.
Yeah, I'm telling all about that. No, joking.
Stop my coke habit.
I don't do drugs, kids. I want to read more, but slightly different reasons, I guess, for you. In a way, I like reading. I do. When I get into a really good book, I really, really like reading.
You were reading last night.
I was, and I've got into a good book that someone got me for Christmas, my cousin, which is one that I've been hooked on immediately. But my issue with reading is, again, attention span, really struggle. And I really struggle to sit still for a long period of time.
Your brain, ADHD, attention span.
Innocent and
Can I tell the story? Can we tell the story about what you did yesterday? Which sums up your fucking brain. When there was a piece of music on a Instagram reel.
Right.
And I was like, oh, do you remember where this is from? I was like, oh, do you remember what TV show this is from? And you were like, oh, yeah. It's like, was it one of the first things we watched? I was like, yeah, it was.
It was like a classical song and you were singing it. And I was like, how do you know?
I wasn't singing it. I was humming it.
Or you were humming it. And I was like, how do you know this song? And you were like, do you not recognise what the film, where it's from?
If any of you have watched The Last of Us, the 3rd episode in that, there's like a really sad bit and there's like bit of classical music's playing over the top.
Yeah, no spoilers.
But I think it's probably been used in other TV shows and films because it's like you hear it and I recognise it straight away. Actually, we can't say because okay. So and I was like, where is it from? And you were like, is it when so and so happened? And then because if I say what it actually was, that is a spoiler in case people haven't watched.
Someone dies in that series.
Yeah. Someone dies. So
and I was like, oh, was it when they died?
So I was like, oh, is it when this person dies? And I was like, no. And she went, oh. And then 2 seconds later, is it when that person died? Just literally repeated the same thing again.
Same person.
So confidently, but it was like almost like in that time a butterfly had gone past or something and just totally lost train of thought.
No, I literally repeated the exact same thing and I said it like it was a completely different answer.
But the second time round, it was with way more oomph and like...
I was like, oh, I've got it. It's when this person
I've nailed it. Yeah, it's when this person... I had 2 seconds ago.
You literally just said that. And then I did get the answer. Yeah,
yes, you did.
Really.
Although the reading one was different to what you said before this.
What do you mean?
You said another personal one was you actually want to get 365 on your...
Oh, wait, no, I haven't elaborated on my reading one, but yes, I'll spill that one in a minute. So my reading one is coming off the back of me wanting to reduce my screen time, because my screen time, I'm not going to lie, on average ranges between sort of 6 to 8 hours, which is absolutely disgusting when you work out how many
Devil's advocate though, we use it a lot for business.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There is a little bit of grace that I give myself because I'm on my phone a lot for creating content, for filming content, for editing content, for talking to clients, for talking to people on Instagram or like social media who are potentially inquiring about coaching, or if they're just asking for help, for obviously interacting with people on social media. Like, it's very phone heavy, despite what you might think we do as a coach. Like, it's a lot of it is work related. I don't actually, in fact, any of my friends listening to this will know I'm an awful replier. Like, if you're clients and everything like work related, I'll reply pretty efficiently. But in terms of anything else, you could be waiting on like a 3-month reply rate from me. Like, unless, like I always say, like, if you need something urgently, call me. Otherwise, if I don't reply, it's not because I'm intentionally ignoring you. Sometimes I just get that overwhelmed, or just like so tired of being on my phone. I just, once I'm done with work, I want to switch it off and get away and be. I'm very much someone who likes to be present in person, and I don't like to be on my phone a lot when I don't have to be. I like being outside. I like being in nature. I like doing stuff that's not technology related. And I think because so much of work is technology focused, any second I get away from that, like, I will take. So in an attempt to try and do that, as I said, similar to you, like a big way that I absorb information is like audiobooks, podcasts, like YouTube videos or anything like that. Again, very visual. And I think that's fine to a degree, but I also want to read more because I think that's really good for relaxing and mindfulness and switching off and having downtime and having that clear separation between like work and sort of life.
Especially before bed.
Yeah.
Getting away from a screen and actually just reading a couple of pages
And my sleep routine is something that I really want to get back dialed down, because when I had that in place, and I did, reading was a part of that, my recovery was so much better, my energy levels were so much more consistent, and I just felt better like mentally across the board. So that's definitely something I want to do. So to hold myself accountable for that, I am going to read, which sounds so insignificant to any big readers out there, but for someone who doesn't do it consistently at the moment, I want to read 6 books this year. So I think 1 every couple of months is realistic, because that's also still making room for podcasts, for YouTube videos, for audiobooks, which I don't plan to stop doing. I just want to make sure that I'm still making time for physical books, because I do like a paperback, you know?
I don't get the Kindle hype.
No, I
like feeling the book.
I understand the
digits.
convenience, because it's like you don't have to have.
Yeah, I know, but nothing beats.
Yeah, a good book.
Nothing beats holding the book.
And it also still feels like you're on technology, I feel, with a Kindle. I don't know, maybe I could get behind it.
Because it is technology.
Well, I know, but it's designed to look like a book, isn't it? Anyway, read more is my answer in short. And then my other one that Alex was getting at was I want to hit a 365-day streak on Duolingo, because even though I was very consistent with that last year, I lost my streak probably about 3 or 4 times. And even though I picked it straight back up the day after, there was never like longer than a day between my streak, which, you know, was enough to fucking cancel it, which is so annoying. But I've still remained consistent, but we just want it a little bit better this time around. So that's me learning French. Oui, bonbon.
Bonbons.
Professional. I want to do an in-person client event this year, which we have one in line or lined up for. It's not booked yet. It's not like the logistics haven't been finalised. But at the back end of this year, I ran a challenge that was designed to specifically get like clients a little bit more excited around Christmas, to make them feel like they're not losing everything over Christmas. Because obviously we know this time of year can get quite overwhelming. It can be quite sort of, it throws your routine off massively. Like, everything tends to change, and I didn't want people to feel like they weren't able to still keep somewhat of a routine, or some, like, if you're anything like us, we like that for sanity reasons, not for just like the sake of ticking boxes.
Autism.
So I wanted them to have something that still kept them on track, still had them chipping towards their goals, but didn't feel like they were missing out on all the Christmas fun. So I had a challenge that like every day they had to do a certain task, and it went down so much better than I thought it was going to do. Like, everyone loved it. They get so much more positive feedback than I expected, and many of them requested another one for January, purely because like they loved having that accountability and that thing to focus on. But they also loved the fact that people started to become a lot more interactive in the group chat. People were starting to like big up each other more, like support each other more, keep each other accountable. Because even though they have me for that, it's different when it's like another person on your same wavelength kind of thing, which I loved. And it was like, community is a big, important part of coaching for me. I don't know if you feel that. Like, I think that's definitely what separates good coaching from like best coaching.
For sure.
And it's what makes it enjoyable, and we certainly like it from our experience. So
Yes.
yeah, if that's something we can create more, then I'm all for that. And I think in-person interaction is something that is really important to do that. So an in-person event is what I want to do. So that's that. Shall we crack on with the main podcast?
Yeah,
the main content, I should say, of this podcast. Oh, by the way, I found the statistic. So, fun fact, guys, for all you listening. According to Google, most people fail their New Year's resolutions, with studies showing that 80% or more give up by February.
80%?
80%.
Wow, didn't see that one coming.
And as few as 8 to 12% actually succeed by the end of the year. So this podcast is going to make sure... Did I just say podcast or podcast? Does it sound... Anyway.
That's like a ghost. A podcast.
This podcast is going to be making sure that you are in that 8 to 12% range. You are going to succeed by the end of the year, providing you follow the things that we are about to tell you not to do. So... moving forward, do you want to kick up the first? Shall I kick up the first one?
Sorry.
We're going to be breaking down. We've kind of, ruffled this down to 5 key points. Let me prop the phone up there so we've got the notes in front of us. 5 key points that we see people do wrong or not quite right to set themselves up for failure. So don't be doing these things. And then obviously we're going to go into a little bit more context on each point to make sure that you have everything you need to know to succeed. Do you want to kick off with the first one? I feel like I've spoken a lot.
Yeah, although, yeah. So the first one we've got down is setting goals with no behaviour system.
What do you mean by that?
Good question. What do you mean by that?
Do I need to elaborate on that one?
Well, no, I think I know what you mean, but...
I wrote this point for people.
Yeah, by behaviour system, do you mean...
When I wrote down that point, I meant like people put themselves like a goal, and then they say they don't actually take into account what it is going to require to get that goal. So they don't. They just set themselves something numerical. Like it could be like, I'm going to run a marathon, and they don't appreciate what is going to have to be sacrificed or changed, or what they're going to have to do in their life to set themselves up for that marathon. So they just label a goal for the sake of labeling a goal, and then don't actually think about what they're going to have to do to get there. So it could be reading a book. I'm going to read 12 books for the sake of reading 12 books. I'm not taking into account like every night or every day I'm going to have to section out some time to build a habit that's going to read a few pages every day to read those 12 books, that sort of thing. Does that make sense?
No, it does. You see it as well. I see it all the time as well. I think it's one of those things where like, I know this isn't the goal setting thing per se, but I think the funniest thing is like I've ranted about this before, is when you get people being like, when I was gym instructing in gyms for the whatever company it was, and you do like this time of year they're always doing like free PT taster sessions, just something to encourage people to get, which is really good. But it was always going to be the same shit where you had like 50-year-old Karen being like, yes, though I want to lift weights, but I don't want to look like you. And it's always that same thing where it's like you don't understand what goes into it to achieve the shit that I've achieved. Like you don't just wake up and it just doesn't just happen by accident. And it's the same thing where you see people with like nutrition goals. They're like, I want to lose 2 stone. You go, okay, cool. And they're like, yeah, but I'm still going to drink every day. And it's like, okay, well then you're not going to lose
2 stone.
You're not going to lose the 2 stone. It's like, oh, I want to lift X amount of weight, but I'm not going to I'm not going to have a program or sort my eating out or sort my sleep out or sort my hydration. It's like, okay, well then don't be upset when it doesn't fucking happen then. So you see it in all aspects of like the fitness space. It's that common misconception. People think it's, I don't know. Do you think people think it's a lot easier than what it actually is?
I think a lot of people underestimate
that seems to be
the effort, especially for things like weight loss.
Oh, it's just going to happen.
Some people, weight loss and building muscle, which tend to be like the 2 biggest goals that people tend to have in like health and fitness, always underestimate like the effort and the longevity that it takes to get to that goal. And I mean, it's like the conversation I was having with my mom the other day, wasn't it, with you? And she was saying how she wanted to get a bit stronger and a bit more like resilient, basically, because she was like, I can feel like I'm getting older. I can feel like things are harder to do.
She was just becoming more aware of the fact that as she gets she's a smart woman. She's very self-aware. She was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And I understand that as I get older, my bone density is going to go down. Like, I think for a lot of
muscle mass is going to go down.
Or just even for older people, it's like, people that are getting older, thinking less of it being like, oh, I'm going to be put muscle, whatever. It's like, if you have a bit of muscle, if you get a bit stronger, it just means that you can stay independent for a lot longer. Like when you fall over, your pelvis doesn't turn into fucking, when you get a load of crackers and just smash it.
Yeah, like not to sound like overly frank, but you strength training a few times a week, starting from now, whatever old you are, like however old you are, sorry, could be the difference between someone having to wipe your ass at like 80 years old versus like 90 years old, for example. And it sounds like, but that's quite a crude example, but that's literally what we mean. Like you wanting to be able to get up the stairs by yourself versus needing one of those, what are they called? Those electronic stairlifts. Yeah. Or, needing a walking stick or a Zimmer frame or a wheelchair or a scooter. Like, it could be you walking by yourself or...
But I know, like, with what you... Coming back to that point, the main thing, like, I know it's probably... Is it more...
Oh, wait, I've just realised we didn't carry on saying... Like, her point was saying that, and then she turned around and was like, oh, yeah. And we're like, oh, well, that's okay. We could start strength training a couple of times a week. She said, oh, no, I don't want to put loads of muscle. I don't want to put loads of size on. And we were just like...
We were like,
bitch, do you think it's that easy?
So if you just start like doing some squatting stuff, some deadlifting type patterns, pushing and pulling,
some simple, basic,
simple movement patterns, and just doing stuff that she enjoys,
she wouldn't.
The benefits that she would have just from just being a bit stronger, because you're looking at studies, but stuff comes out now where it's like some indicators of like morbidity is like if you have more muscle mass. Like having more muscle mass as you get older is a good indicator that you're probably going to live. Obviously, there's so much stuff that plays into it, but generally, it's like the whole thing, isn't it? Like where getting off the floor without using your hands, that's like an indicator of if you're going to like your morbidity. Like, am I using the right word? Is morbidity, isn't it?
Yeah, like what can contribute to early death, basically.
Yeah, having more muscle mass because, like you were saying, as you get older, you naturally lose it. So actually, doing some strength training to try and maintain that means that when you do fall over or whatever, or just trying to be more independent, you're going to keep that for a lot longer. So all this stuff, people think lifting weights, oh, I'll touch a dumbbell and I turn to the Hulk. It's like, no. Like, you don't understand the fucking plethora of benefits that come from that. I know specifically with like the behavior system, I know like what you've told me with nutrition stuff is you'll get a person that comes to you and it's like, I want to lose weight, or I want to gain weight, or I want to do it for performance, or I want to do this. And a lot of your work is like unpacking the stuff behind it. It's like, well, why do you feel like you have to overeat? Why do you feel like you undereat? Why?
Yeah.
So a lot of it is unpack, because you're saying like you could give anyone a diet plan and follow it, and you fuck off. But as soon as they stop that diet, following that diet, they're going to put it on. Whereas if you take the time to undergo, like, well, what is it that's, why do you feel like you have to do this? Or why do you have to feel like you have to do that? And you unpack that, and then you actually, like, from the behavior side, unpack why and challenge those things, and then actually work together to try and put something sustainable. It means that you could, like with a lot of your stuff, you'd never tell anyone they can't enjoy treats.
No, because
or drink a bit. But if they understand that stuff is like you do that in moderation, you don't do that all the time, and you do X amount of the stuff good, but you unpack those psychological things, or those behavioral things that might mean they overeat or undereat, or they're scared of eating certain foods, and actually you build that up. It means that it's something that's lifelong and sustainable. And it's the same thing with the gym. It's like if you tell people that they have to, you're going to get, if you want to have a performance-based goal and you want to run a marathon, you want to do this, accept the fact that you're going to have to train X amount of times to get that. It's not going to happen just running once a week. Like, you have to have those stuff in place. And what you tend to find is these people that come to you generally wanting a bit of help, just general stuff, then very quickly, once they get into it and you've built those things out, they then want performance-based goals. And because you put those things in place, they then find adhering to those goals a lot easier, because you've spent the time, educating them and building out whatever their belief system, and changing it so that it becomes a sustainable thing that you can do in the future. Like,
exactly. It's back to the weight loss example. Most people know how to lose weight, like regardless of what they say. If they're like, oh, I just don't know how, you do. Like, most people know that it requires a calorie deficit in order for you to be able to lose body fat. What most people don't actually know how to do, or maybe aren't even aware of what's potentially holding them back, is the behaviors, the belief systems, the past experiences, the way they've been raised, the things that they've been told, or the information they've consumed that is perhaps incorrect or not appropriate to them. That's all the stuff that you need to unpack and address and change and adapt in order for you to be able to lose that weight. It's not just as simple as stick you in a calorie deficit or go lift some dumbbells. Like, that lifting weight is going to get you stronger. yes, obviously there's a lot of technicalities behind it, but the basic principles most people actually know how. It's like, how can you actually build that into a routine though? Like, how can you make that fit your lifestyle? Like, how can you make yourself more consistent? These are the things that actually make a difference. So yeah, I feel like we've covered that point in a lot of detail.
Mm-hmm.
Point number 2 of the top 5 ways people screw their New Year's resolutions up is because they change everything at once. So that classic all or nothing mindset, which I, for one, have certainly been guilty of. I don't know about you. You don't really strike me as an all or nothing person, to be fair. No. Maybe you have been in the past, but I feel like since I've known you, you're reasonably...
It depends.
You're quite realistic with your goals, I think.
Yeah, but it depends what it is.
Like, I come out with stupid stuff that I'm like,
but
that was bold even for me.
But like with training, it's like, training is life.
Yeah, but it's not like you set your goal like, oh, I'm going to change everything now and I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this.
Oh, no, it doesn't work. If someone said change everything in one go, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. It doesn't work for me. My example for me is the diet.
Yeah.
Like when you were like, you need to make some changes. And one of the things, like, I'll use me as an example because it's one of those things where Han, obviously being the nutrition side and me not doing any of the nutrition side. Oh, well, I know enough, but nowhere. I know a bit, but not nowhere near as much as you do. And we sat down one day and we looked at my diet and she was like, let's make some changes, shall we? And I was like, okay, cool. And rather than basically saying, here's the 5 times I eat and just fucking, arm across the table, swiping the plates off and being like, boom. Especially with how my brain works. If someone did that and just changed everything in one go, I'd have a meltdown and probably be in the corner rocking like a child crying. Whereas the first thing we did, and I think this shows how Han coaches and her approach to everything. And I was like, well, if you treat all your clients like that, they're on to a fucking winner.
Stop it.
She went, where's the low-hanging fruit? And I'm a night owl and I'm not very good in the mornings. So one of the things I always struggled with was eating something substantial for breakfast. It'd be something like just something I could get in quick. And usually because of it was that, it wasn't
like a piece of toast with peanut, like a BBJ toast.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't that it wasn't that nutritious. So I was missing a lot of stuff. In terms of the 5 things I ate a day, breakfast was probably the least nutritious thing because it was just like, right, I just need to quick something before I start PTing. I'm half asleep, whatever. So we went, right, okay, we fucked around some things, and now I have like a Greek yogurt bowl, effectively, with some other stuff thrown in. So it's decent amount of protein and all this other stuff. So rather than changing all 5 meals in one go, it was literally like, okay, here are the 5 meals. Which one can have the most impact? Breakfast. Let's fuck around with the breakfast and find something that you like that works for you. Because we tried, I know you're going to say oats.
No, I think that's another example of why we had to figure out what worked for you, though, because we tried, like, we noticed breakfast was a big gap that could take a lot of improving, and we thought, okay, here's some staple meals that I think you may get on with. They're really easy, that you can meal prep them if you want. You can switch them up so they don't get boring.
Oh, I don't need to.
Yeah, I know that's not an issue
That's
for
not
you,
how my brain works.
As in, like, it was a good base to start with, and that was, like, 2 major things we can point out here that are going to be quick and something that you'd probably find appetizing in a morning would be like oats or a Greek yogurt bowl.
And the oats, oats
you didn't get on with because of the texture.
Just texture, and it sat like a brick in my stomach.
I'm still adamant you just didn't make them right.
Yeah, I didn't make them right. But I think comparing the two, it's Greek yogurt night and day. Like now it's something that it's hitting all the nutrition boxes, so that's a big tick. And it's also something that I find very palatable. And that I get on with and that I actually enjoy getting up and having. And it didn't, even though it's quite a substantial breakfast, it didn't sit heavy. Because the other thing that kind of gets me, whatever, is like if something sits in my stomach like a brick, it makes me feel very, as I suppose it would do, but having a tism brain, I'm very kind of aware of what my body's doing. So like having something like that, like sensory, I just didn't like it.
And how did you notice it impact your performance?
I don't know. I just
remember the training day you turned around and you were like, I can actually feel my core bracing. Like, is this what it feels like?
So one of the massive things I noticed is it sorted. Like I didn't realize how bloated I was. Like it sorted my bloating out. So when I was actually braced for the squat, I could actually feel my abs contract. Whereas before, it was kind of like trying to contract my abs on marshmallow. So it wasn't. But that's like a prime example of like, I know I needed to make some changes. We just sat down and said, like, what's the easiest thing to change? Breakfast, make that good. And then now going forward, it's like, what can we... if you
What's next?
and then we started to fuck around with like post training as well. Rather than having this, why didn't you have this, this, and this? So it's like literally change one thing, make that a habit, make that something that becomes a no-brainer, it's easy to do, and then move on to the next one rather than trying to change all 5 meals at once. It was what out of those 5 is going to be the easiest thing to change, boom, and do that. And it's the same thing with training. It's like people that have never trained before will be like, oh yeah, cool, well, I've got this goal to do this. I want to go 5 times a week. And it's like, you're going from doing absolutely nothing to 5 times. Whenever I hear people say that, and you kind of have to,
that's where we just have to step in as a coach and be like, no,
we have to
that's not happening.
The other thing is you have to kind of make them think it's their idea.
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah.
But it's like, okay, cool. Okay, I'm hearing
how about
5.
We start with 3.
I'm hearing 5. I'm hearing that's really good that you whatever. But how about we start 2 or 3? And like, no, I can do 5. It's like,
cool. If you can do that, then let's prove that we can do 3, and then we'll progress.
And I was like, well, hear me out, okay? Because like, you want to pick when you're getting into it. You want to pick the days you can do, the most amount of days you can do. That even if you had an absolutely terrible week with work, kids, life, whatever, that you could stick to those. And they go, oh, actually, yeah, maybe 5 wouldn't be realistic. Maybe it's more like 2 or 3. Okay, cool. Pick 2 or 3 because once you make that a habit, it's very easy to add a day. It's very hard to go from 5 days and try and then go like you build a program around 5 days and then do that to 2 or 3. Absolutely, you can. But in terms of like you saying, where it's like setting yourself up for failure, and it's like after several weeks of not being able to hit 5 days, you go, oh fuck, I'm worthless, I'm shit, I can't do it. Whereas if you start off on the lower end, 2 days a week, and be like, yeah, okay, cool, I've hit that for a month. That's consistent. I can always add an extra day. That's much easier, and psychologically, it's going to benefit you a lot more than basically be like, throw the kitchen sink at your face. Yeah. Be surprised when it cracks you, breaks your nose, and they go, oh well.
Because I think all of this generally comes down to the psychological impact it has on it as well, because whenever you're making a habit change or you're trying to make something a part of your routine, or you're trying to work towards a new goal, it's going to involve change. And like naturally as humans, we are not wired to like change, whether you're neurodivergent or not. Like we don't
I do not like change.
Like it in general. So doing a lot at once is a very, very easy way to overwhelm yourself, set yourself up for failure, not meet your expectations, which is then naturally going to lead you to have less confidence than you already have because you've failed at the first hurdle. And that's not, you'll turn around and you'll be like, oh, that's me. Like, I'm broken. I'm the problem. That maybe this lifestyle isn't for me. Maybe it's just not possible. Maybe I'm not built for this. And these are all the types of words that I've heard, clients use, or like I've used myself, or you hear about in conversations, and it's not you. Like, you're not the problem. This is a very natural part of behavior change and humans needing to integrate themselves into change gradually in order for it to be successful. Because the whole point of going like all guns blazing, why have you ever thought of like the point of that? Like, it tends to be because people want the fastest results. But if you haven't got any results yet, is something not going to be better than nothing? And with health and fitness, like if you're listening to this and you've either experienced it firsthand yourself, or you've heard enough people preach it who have been there, got the t-shirt, who are talking to you like how they did it. No one got this shit overnight. Like, we have been training for years on end, and that's not to put you off or to think, shit, those goals are going to take so long to get. Is it even worth it? Absolutely, it's worth it because you learn so much in the process. But trying to get it as quickly as possible is not the way to go. Like,
it's unsustainable.
It is, and that's the point.
If you try and do it in a way where you want your goals in 6 weeks, it's the same thing with diet. It's like the whole dieting thing. Again, it comes back down to that. It's like, do this 6-week diet. Okay, cool. You finish your 6-week diet. What happens to a lot of people? They lose a stone. What happens? They put the stone back on again because it's not a sustainable thing. Why don't you try and why don't you try and make the dieting and the food, try and make like lifestyle changes and choices so that actually you lose the weight more gradually, but the weight that you lose stays off rather than you going, oh shit. And same thing with the training. Like, and also, this is a personal gripe of mine, I suppose, but it's probably, this is how I know I'm getting older, because this generation of people are fucking, it's like the instant gratification generation with like social media. So it's not the only, like, the sexy thing and the thing that sells is like, oh, I've gone from this to this, 6-week abs, 4-week biceps, lose a stone in X amount of time. And that's the sexy thing. That's what sells. And it's like part of this, and like, I hope you agree. That we enjoy about this is like, I enjoy, yes, the overreaching goal I might have is to bench X amount of weight, but I like going and doing upper body sessions. Like, you would have to enjoy the process as well as the end result. If you're in
because
it.
It's not just you like training up a body, you enjoy feeling better, you enjoy learning new movements, you enjoy like the whole experience you have of training and how it makes you feel.
If all you give a fuck about is the shiny medal, you're not going to last in anything. If all you care about is the end result and people patting you back and yeah, well done, and if all you care about is that extrinsic motivation, you're fucking, it's not going to work. You have to learn, you have to embrace the fact that, like, to get where you want to be, it's going to take time. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in weeks. It takes months and years. And part of the fun is that process of going from where you started to that end goal. And the way you can make that more fun is by setting little goals along the way. But ultimately, you have to enjoy that process. If all you care about is putting a picture up on Instagram and having 20 likes and some comments, and you want a fucking sponsor from Gymshark or whatever, get that. It's not going to work. And it pisses me off because you see so many. We see it all the time. It's like. It's literally people go like, oh, I'm going to get into fitness, make a fitness account, and then hope that I can try and get a sponsorship. It's like, get fucked. You won't last. You see it with younger, like especially in powerlifting. How many of it do it? How many people pick it up in uni after 3 years they're out? Because it's like, oh well, I didn't get the sponsorship, and I'm not getting all the attention now, so whatever.
Yeah, or they realise the newbie gains wear off. Yeah. They're not making as progress as quickly as they did before, and they're like, "Oh, actually, I don't enjoy this.
Don't want to do it anymore. It's not. I'm not hitting a PB every week. Don't want to do it.
Well, it's not going to happen. You're not going to hit like a new low weight on the scales every week. You're not going to hit a PB in the gym every week because, like, you're essentially correcting or building on years of not doing the thing you're wanting to doing. Like, it's going to take years to build it up.
And again, not to rant because I do love a rant, but like, there's plenty of times in what I've been doing lifting weights since I was properly since I was like 15, 16. I'm 30 now. There's plenty of times in that 15 years or so that I could have thrown in a towel. I've been hurt multiple times. Like, there's been plenty of times where I generally could have just been like, well, I'm not seeing the results and whatever. I could have fucking thrown it in. But I don't, because I love it. I love doing it. I love going in every day and bettering myself, and I love the feeling of doing it.
Yeah.
If I gave a fuck about all that extrinsic stuff, I would have quit after a year.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not being noticed. No one liked my post. I didn't get a fucking sponsor code from, what was it? Whatever.
My protein.
Use code dickhead at checkout. Just fuck off. I hate it. It's so.
Yeah.
It's everyone and their fucking.
It's a shadow.
Nan.
Yeah.
Everyone and their nan has a TikTok account, a fitness account where they're trying to do it, and that's part of the bigger issue where you get 15, 16-year-olds trying to steer the stuff. That's a different rant.
Now. Point number 3.
If you want to hear me rant about that, though, let me know because I love that shit.
You just have to go on his Instagram page for that.
Yeah, I do basically just rant on my Instagram page a lot. Point number 3. You or they underestimate the identity shift. I think this is like, naturally when you're going to make changes, like you've said, that's going to come with a change in how your life is. And some people don't get it. Like, how many times when we first started doing this stuff and we got into it, when your mum's like, if you lift those weights, you're going to blow your back out.
You're going to start looking like a man. You don't want to get too bulky, do you? You're not fitting in your clothes the same anymore.
That suit's not going to fit the same.
Yeah, and the quote I love is that in order to gain a new life, you're going to have to sacrifice your old one. And I think what people don't quite appreciate when they're coming into like the health and fitness space, or they're trying to get fitter, healthier, stronger, it's going to require a level of sacrifice. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means it's different. So the time that maybe you would spend binge watching Netflix, maybe you put into a bit of meal prepping or going to the gym, like the energy that you put on the weekends or the money that you spend on going out drinking or going out for regular meals or buying takeaways, maybe you want to put into a gym membership or buying some protein powder,
you know how this is
or
uncensored.
a healthier food shop.
You know how this is uncensored, we say it how it is.
Yeah.
You know, on that point about spending money on the weekends.
Yeah.
Tell people how you really feel about that. No, I'll do it then.
I don't need no. Like, that is everyone's prerogative. Like, if you prefer to go and spend your money out getting shit faced on the weekend, that is absolutely your business, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's wrong.
That comes down to
but
a bit with point,
doesn't
it?
Is just something you need to sit down with yourself and think, is that something I'm willing to sacrifice? Is that adding to my life in the way that I want it to? Is this taking away from actually what is important to me and what I want to get out of life? Because if it is, then maybe that's the thing I need to change. And on that note, if that then requires conversations with relationships, with friendships, with family, be prepared to have those conversations, because not everyone is going to understand why you want to do what you do, especially if you come from a background or an environment that doesn't do any of the stuff that you're trying to do, because they'll be like, what do you mean you want to go and spend your evenings like in the gym rather than at the pub? Like, what do you mean you want to spend your Sunday afternoons meal prepping rather than coming to bottomless brunch? Or like, it's going to require change, and that's not always a bad thing, and it will be uneasy and it will feel like friction and it will feel unnerving a lot of the time. And I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes you might even feel lonely, but there is a space, like there's a whole world out there of people that get you, of people that understand how you're feeling right now, and that people that you can relate to and that you can talk to about these things. And it's not going to be plain sailing. It's going to make it feel difficult. It's going to make you question your life choices. But ultimately, at least from our experience, it's 100% worth it.
Because it kind of ties in a bit with the first point, where it's like, we're not saying that you have to give up alcohol completely, you have to give up pizza completely, but it's one of those things where, depending on what your goals are, know that, say you go more into a performance thing where you want to run a marathon or you want to lift X amount of weight, just know the fact that, okay, cool, you can still get shit-faced at the pub every weekend. Just know that you're probably not going to achieve the goals that you want.
Yeah, and it's...
Like, you can still drink, like we still drank. Like, I don't drink that often, but like, the last time I drank properly was at my brother's wedding. But before that, I couldn't tell you when the last time I had a drink was. But it's like, it's just knowing the fact that, like, and yeah, of course, if you're in a bit of an off season with something, maybe you can have a drink or two here and there, but just know the fact that by making some decisions, there's going to have consequences. Like, if you choose to drink a lot more on a weekend, don't be upset when you come to that marathon, that you don't PB your time. Just know the fact that some of those choices, they might not impact the thing right then, but stuff has a knock-on effect. Like, know that if you're trying to lose X amount of weight and you fucking have a takeout when you're not supposed to, don't be surprised when you weigh in for your weekly check-in and you've put a pound on. Like, you made those choices. Now, anything should be more of a realistic thing where you can include those things, but just know that's just a potential consequence. Like, these actions have consequences, and we're not here to say you yes, no, and basically police you around like Hitler and say you should do this, you should do that.
But it's just being aware.
It's just being aware,
because then it sets you up for disappointment when you come to that realization. You think, oh, what do you mean I'm going to have to say no to this and say no to that and stop doing this and stop doing that in order to be able to do all those things I want to do? I don't really know if I'm okay with that. And also, that is okay too. Like, if you enjoy your current life and you don't want to sacrifice those things, that's fine. But get real with yourself and think like, oh, actually, maybe getting fit, strong and healthy, or shredded, or I don't know, whatever it might be.
High rocks.
Yeah, doing a high rocks sounds cool, but actually I don't care about it enough to want to sacrifice the life I'm currently living. And that's fine. Like, that's absolutely fine. Don't feel pressured to do anything, but just make sure that, one, you're doing it for you and not for the people-pleasing sakes, because that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, make sure that, you're aware of the change that's going to come, because it's not just a case of do a high rocks, lose 10 kilos, like lift your body weight.
But I think the other thing that's really important to do as well is, like, obviously as those things shift and potentially you have to not let go, but those people that don't get it, it's like me and Hannah are in a community where we surround ourselves, or we are like surrounded by people that have the same goals, like it's certainly like with the powerlifting stuff. So just know, like Hannah said, there are communities of people out there that do get it. If your thing is CrossFit, because I know, like, I can't believe I'm fucking saying about CrossFit, but CrossFit boxes are notorious for having that community. High rocks, High rocks.
I think that's a really good element of it. Like, I know we joke about CrossFit and high rocks, but like,
like they are known for, like, the CrossFit box is like a thing they'll put, like, it's like any, like, even at powerlifting gyms, like, we know a guy who has a gym, and one of the things that he wants to do is put on like a mock meet, and it's not like a proper powerlifting meet, but it's literally trying to build more of that community and people that actually care about lifting, get them more involved in the sport. Literally like a thing where there's it's not going to be as not on what do you call it, not as rule heavy. It's literally just getting people there, squat, bench and deadlifting and having a bit of fun, but just in that environment, because he cares about having a space for like-minded people that actually give a fuck about it. So, like, all you have to do is have a quick search for gyms in your area or whatever it is.
Like, the beauty of social media is because the communities.
What do they do on Saturdays? What's it called? Park runs. Even something like I know, but even like at the lowest level, people meet other people.
You can walk that, like, you can walk it, you can jog it, you can run it.
But people will meet other people through there just from doing something like a park run, where you're exposing yourself into, I want to get into running. It's something where they do, like, park runs 5K, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, through there you're going to meet people that are like-minded, that are getting up on a Saturday morning at 8-9 o'clock. Is it like early?
Yeah, it's usually that time.
Like 8, 9 o'clock that are going to do that. So like if you're of that mindset, you're going to be surrounding yourself, and it's potentially a way to meet new people or get into a community that also think the same. So like there's opportunities everywhere to do that.
And I think it's important to also recognize that you can have chapters in your life, and if that changes, then that's fine. Like it's okay to grieve it. It's okay to let it go. Like there's friends that I had in my life that I don't really speak to anymore or spend that much time with, and it's got nothing to do with who they are as a person. You just grow out of different people, and you do different things, or you branch off to different ways of life, or maybe like it's a distance thing, I don't know, but like you will always find a way to stay around the people that fill your cup, or at least you should be mindful of that, in my opinion. And it doesn't mean you have to be like the mirror image of everyone in your life, but understand that those core values and those core like morals should be the same. Otherwise it's just going to be exhausting and draining. But it's like one of my best friends of all time, I don't know if she listens to this podcast, I can never ask her.
She should.
Yeah, she should, really should, if she's my real best friend.
That's
but
terrible.
No, Amelia, like she has been one of my closest friends since primary school, since we were literally tiny. And honestly, we live two polar opposite lifestyles, but we get on like a house on fire. One, because like we've just grown up together. We've got obviously loads of stories, lots of like memories together. But she is like very much into the farming culture. She loves to go to like party events or like big balls, and I don't know, maybe go to the I mean balls as in like the dance thing, like the event, not actual balls, you child.
She loves big balls.
I'm gonna have to tell her to listen to this episode. But like that is what she enjoys to do, and it's great. Like she looks fantastic when she's doing it. She has a great time. Like it's how she met her partner.
Oh,
yeah, very romantic. And she's got her own friendship group in that community, and that's awesome. I don't do any of that. Like I'm not in the farming culture. I don't go out on weekends. Like occasionally maybe we go to the races once a year, but again that's not because I give a shit about horse racing at all. If anything, I hate it. But if that's where we can spend time together,
all the animal activists.
I know I am, and I don't. To be honest, I haven't been for a very long time. And when I go, I don't ever bet. I don't do anything. I literally just go to see my friends. But like we still make time to either go out for food together, or we go and do a creative activity together. And that's fine. Like she will always understand that I love to do my fitness stuff. She'll always ask like, oh, do you want to go out for that meal? Because I know obviously like depending on where I am in my year, like, are you prepping for a comp? Are you in a dieting phase? Like she's more than happy to adapt around me depending on what it is I'm working towards. And I never feel under pressure.
Queen.
Pardon?
Queen.
Under pressure. Yeah, no. She never makes me feel like under pressure to make a certain decision or to act in a way that isn't in line with my values, likewise with her. So, like, if we go to the pub and I decide I want a non-alcoholic drink, there's no questions asked. Like, she doesn't care.
You're not going to get shit-faced?
Yeah, like, and if people in your environment are making you feel somewhat way about your decisions, then you need to ask yourself if that person is really adding to your life or not, because the identity shift thing is real, and I think that's one thing that people don't quite take into account.
Point 4.
A lot of people, and this is going to be an obvious one, people rely on motivation entirely. And as much as you may have heard, it is very fickle, it's very hit and miss, it's very inconsistent. And whilst there are ways that you can create motivation for yourself, relying on that in order to hit your New Year's resolutions is why people flop.
Yep.
Because motivation is something that is always going to be high 1st of January. It's what makes you think you're capable of going 0 to 100 and doing XYZ all at once. It's what makes you think you can achieve these big flashy goals like in a very short space of time without really putting much plan or prep into place. And, I'm all for an ambitious push, like ambitious goals, set yourself like above and beyond things to be able to achieve, but like make sure that you actually have a structural plan in place, because your motivation is going to run out. And it's probably one of the biggest reasons why come February 80% of people fuck off and they think, no, it's not worth it.
100%. Like I know for me personally, it's and you have it too. How many days like is the motivation there where you actually like when you get up and like the last thing I want to fucking do is go into
today. My deal was, Hannah, you get through the session, you can go get flat white after. Yeah.
But you make it. So if you spend that time making whatever it is, the diet, the training, whatever, if you make it consistent and a part of your life and a kind of like a non-negotiable, even on those days where your motivation is lower, the benefits, that you're working towards something overreaching and long-term. you know that it makes you feel better after. Like, there's so many times where I felt like shit and I'm just like, oh, the last thing I want to fucking do is do it. And then after or halfway through, it's like, oh, fuck yeah, I feel mint. I saw a really good reel actually the other day. Someone said that you don't take time off the gym or training for non-reasons, because there's going to come times where you're forced to take time off the gym for like being ill, for example. So if you take time off when it's like when you don't need to, how many gaps you're going to build, and then when you actually have to take time off, you haven't kind of built in those
accounted for those inevitable things that can catch you.
So it's just like, just know that obviously there's going to be days where you don't feel like it. There's days where I don't feel like it, but you just know that each of those days is building towards something bigger, and you're aiming for that overreaching goal.
And those reps, and by reps, I don't just mean literal reps of exercises. I mean like reps of showing up to the gym, reps of eating a balanced meal, like reps of going to bed before midnight, or like drinking your water. Each one compounds to the end goal. So every single opportunity you get to tick one box every single day, and it doesn't have to be a flawless streak. You don't have to be every training session be exactly how it was programmed. Not every meal has to be right to the calorie or the macro. Like maybe you're 500 mils down on your water one day, or like you're a couple of thousand steps off your goal. Like it's not that deep, but every single bit of effort that you have to put in is going to help you get closer towards that goal. It's like compound interest, isn't it? You put savings away each month, you're going to have a lot more at the end of it compared to what you actually put in each month. Even if there's some months you can put in more versus less, all of it is going to add together to help you get to that end result quicker. And again, it's not about chasing speed, but it's just about the consistency.
Things, and I've done one or two posts about like there's other things you can do along the way to help with motivation. It's saying like, you obviously have your overreaching goals, but set little mini goals along the way. Set stuff in training.
Side quests.
Set little side quests to make stuff fun. That's what I do. That's what keeps it interesting for me. So when I'm going in, it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't particularly feel like it, but I know I want to do this and this and that. That's what makes it more interesting. Yeah. And I try and get that to do with like, because I know it works for me, I'll try and do it with clients as well, where I'm like, oh, I'm putting this movement in, and the long-term goal is trying to hit it for this amount of weight for this amount of reps. Cool. Yeah. Aim towards that.
And it's like, I have just had a big spell of calls, like one-to-one calls with my clients, because every year we have their whatever year it's going to be. Obviously this year is 2026 goal setting calls. So many of them have got big overarching goals. So like maybe that's 2 or 3 over the year, but like they have way more mini goals in between that, because those big spells of like time are going to be hard to stay motivated all the time. So they want to keep making sure that they're looking after themselves, and they're preempting that inevitable drop in motivation to help them push through. So for example, I'll just talk about Chelsea because she won't mind. She is a crazy woman, mother of 2, recently married, nurse, might I add, that has some really exciting goals this year. We have got in the diary to do her first High Rocks in January. She wants to do the 10K race that she did last year. So obviously we've got a baseline now that we want to aim to beat in terms of like time. And then she's also got a dieting phase blocked in that she wants to work towards. Like, from my opinion, like perspective as a coach, like those are going to be 3 big goals that we want to tick off and make sure that she achieves successfully. Along that though, sorry, I feel like you're going to say something.
No, I'm just saying if she's listening, then after Feb, she should add another goal.
Well, that could be a little side quest. If we maybe not a side quest, we'll see.
No, not if you're going to do it. You're going to whole ass it.
I guess let me give context to that 1 second. She also has a bit of a goal for herself that she wants to kind of do like a medal or a race a month. And initially you might think, oh, that's a bit much doing one thing every month. But it's the fact that she doesn't need to be maxing out or hitting a PB every single month. It's just she wants to have something fun booked every month to keep her excited and motivated, and think, oh, well, at least if I'm, work's really stressful that time, or I'm finding it really hard in the prep for my 10K, like I've got a fun 5K park run that I'm going to do, like, or I'm going to try a different park run that I'm going to do, or maybe I'm going to do like a little charity run that, it doesn't need to be PB. It's not all about the performance, but it's just some variation and a bit of excitement there. What Alex was getting at is that in February I have my next powerlifting competition, and she's coming to watch, which is very exciting for me, and I'm not going to lie, is actually carrying me through at the moment, because I'm really not enjoying training at the moment for no other reason than I'm probably just in a dip with my whole mindset towards it all. Like, it's been a bit of a rough year for my personal training, but again, you just keep chipping on, but her being there is obviously exciting for me, because I want her to experience how positive of an environment a powerlifting competition is, providing you with the right federation. We're not saying anything more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so exciting and the community is fantastic and you get a really good taste for what the sport is all about. And I don't want my current mood or like lack of motivation or lack of oomph, or maybe everything's not going exactly how I want it, to put her off the potential of maybe doing a powerlifting competition herself at one point. And it's definitely something she's open-minded to, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll come see what it's all about, see if I fancy it. And maybe that's going to be another goal that we set later at the end of the year. But yeah, so that just gives you an example of like, you can still have main goals, but like just drip feed little mini things that aren't that serious in between it all.
Does she listen?
I think she listens to some, yeah.
Okay, well, because if she's listening, you're gonna do it.
I'll make sure she listens to this one. What time is this? 54:44.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell her that time that she needs to come and check in with this podcast when it's released. But I think that's enough said on that one. So making sure... Oh, wait, no. We didn't even say making sure that you're not relying on motivation. Instead, set those plans, set those goals, have things to be working towards. Because last thing I'm going to say on that point, I hear people say all the time, like, oh, it doesn't have to be that serious. You don't have to have a goal. That's bullshit. Like, the goal doesn't have to be that deep. It doesn't have to be crazy, like, I'm going to run a marathon, or like, I'm going to hit deadlift triple my body weight. But you always have to have something, because how are you going to reverse engineer the plan in order to get you there? Like, it could just be, I'm going to train 3 days a week, or it could be, I don't know, I'm going to start eating protein in my breakfast every day. But like, that's still a goal, and it doesn't need to be something that's like massively numerical, or it doesn't have to be like a trophy or medal focused, but always have a goal or an idea of what the end point is, so you can reverse engineer a plan, and then you can hold yourself accountable, create that environment around you, as I said, like prepare for that identity shift, have those conversations with people who are going to be spending a lot of time with you, and all of that is going to make sure that you don't have to rely on motivation, because you've already preempt the challenges you're going to face, and you're going to get yourself in the best shape possible to power through those times, because it's not easy. Absolutely worthwhile, but not easy. Point number 5, we saved the best till last.
Yes.
Do you want to kick it off? Because I feel like you were quite passionate about this point.
You say the thing. You say what you're going. You say what you're going to say, and then I'll.
Point 5 of the top big 5 ways people screw their resolutions or their goals up is because they treat January almost like a test and don't treat it like a practice month. Do you want to go on that before I elaborate?
You elaborate, and then I'll say mine.
So, kind of similar to what I said before, in the sense that people have this overwhelming bundle of motivation come January. It makes sense. It's a clean slate, new year, new month. It logically seems like a perfect time to start something new. But people then almost think, like, if I can't do this 100%, like, what is the point? If I can't, make it through this month successfully, then I guess I'm just not cut out for it. And they don't ease themselves into the process at all. They don't start to see if they like that thing they're trying to work towards, or if they enjoy the process, or if they, they think the results are worthwhile, or anything like that. As we said, I guess it's kind of like intertwining all of the points we've just said before, but starting to make those changes gradually and actually start to work with themselves to make these positive behavior changes. And then if they hit a big fat fail because they didn't tick all those boxes, then they just, that dictates the rest of the year. It's like the other 11 months don't count. Go on.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I don't know why it's such a... I feel like the whole like getting started in January thing is basically just like a big marketing ploy.
Oh,
I feel that's all it has been, because it's like we saw it on... It's mainly like, I suppose it happens a bit with Christmas here, and like I saw a lot of Americans. We follow a lot of American like powerlifter type people around Thanksgiving. You know how you see a lot of people doing like, don't worry guys, it's just one day. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah. Why the fuck are we shouting about it? Who gives a fuck? I know that at Christmas I'm going to eat more food.
Mm.
Why are we hey guys, doesn't matter. You eat what you want.
I think
enjoy Christmas. It's like, it's the same thing with January. It's like, okay, I get that, like, for a lot of people it's the clean slate and everything, but it's like, shouldn't you be doing that anyway all the time? Like,
But that's the difference between people setting these goals for the long-term lifestyle perspective kind of change and people just doing it because they want a certain result by a certain time. Because like you will go through Christmas every single year. You have birthdays every single year. You may have to go to weddings every single year or like celebrations.
How many people do you know?
Well, I don't know. I definitely don't do that. But maybe some people do. At least when you get to a certain age bracket, I feel like it all happens all at once. But, you know, these things aren't going to change. And I think when people make a big song and dance about it, it almost like adds to that anxiety or that fear or that idea that it needs to be dramatically different or you need to be putting so much more focus on not letting go of all your progress. And in reality, if you've got the right approach and you've got the right mindset and you've got the right plan that's going to support you through that, it's not a big deal. It literally is just a few days or like a few weeks of maybe being out of routine, but providing and focusing on the right principles that we've already explained and we talk about in literally every episode of our podcast all the time or on our content on Instagram. It doesn't change. Like the things are like you just need to be chipping away with what you can. Control the controllables. Don't stress about what you can't and just get back into routine as much as possible. The only thing that needs to get a little bit more stricter with is maybe when you've got a competition right round the corner, or maybe for someone, God knows reason, you've put yourself with a big fat race or a competition like the 1st of January and you've got to make weight or something. Like, don't do that. Like, if you've got the choice, don't do that. But maybe, I don't know, if you're bodybuilding, you're probably not listening to this if you are, but like, if you do, then maybe you need to be a little bit more strict around those times of year. But again, if you're just doing this for lifestyle purposes or just to feel better, look better, be stronger, and you're doing this for the long-term goal, it's not that dramatic. Like every day is as equal as another. Like January is no more special than February or August or September. Like these months all have the same value. Just the fact it's the first month of the year really means fuck all when you're in this for the long run. Do you want to add any more?
I'm just twitching. Yeah, I can't. It's just.
Yeah, it's a marketing ploy.
It's when people, especially it's when people just like make a big song and dance. I think I've done one post that was literally saying like, I don't usually push my coaching, but here's some coaching stuff. Other than that, it was exactly the same shit.
Yeah, because I think
like you don't need to,
and we struggle this
because I just think it seems, I don't know, in my opinion, it seems more fake.
When
people are like, oh, January, it's like if you're like, do it from a coaching example. If you're good, you should be doing shit all year round. You shouldn't just be doing like a massive push in January.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that's a battle that we definitely have to face. And
it's moronic.
We have to decide, like, are we going to play with the whole marketing trends and the forecasts that tend to support our business to allow us to help more people that we know we can help, or do we? See, this is where we sometimes clash.
I hate the whole fucking.
Because you hate anything marketing related. You hate anything sales related.
No. I don't hate marketing and stuff because I enjoy making doing that stuff. What I hate is doing it in a way.
You only like it if you think it's not actually marketing, even though it is. Like if I was to tell you that's the way that you're trying to push it.
No, I agree. Like what I'm ultimately at the end of the day, regardless of what anyone says, is like I'm trying to run a business and I'm trying to sell a product. Like I'm not naive to that. Sorry?
Trying to sell a service.
Product. No.
You said product.
Yeah.
A product's usually like a thing.
Okay, I'm trying to push a service. I'm not naive to that. Yeah, of course, like that's ultimately what I'm trying to do. But I want to do it my way that doesn't, because you see, like you just see so much shit where it's just like I'll just swipe through Instagram, and because obviously we're in the fitness space, a lot of the targeted stuff will be like towards us. I can go through the thing. And it's like, are you a high-performing man? Are you a high-performing woman? Are you a business? It's just all the fucking same bollocks. And it's like all the people that I've seen, and I think this is part of just, again, it's having a fucking personality. All the people that I've had conversations with, the other coaches, and the people that I have worked with on a professional level with mentoring or whatever, have all been people that have like, it's not just X person, the coach, they've shown some personality. I've seen what their interests and hobbies are, and like I've seen more of them. It's not marketing done the fucking, I've got 3 spots left. It's not that bollocks. It's like they give a bit out for free, they put some personality across, they do it like, so when I meet them and I talk to them, they are how they are on there. Whereas I've seen people before where they come across on Instagram all, hey, I'm the best thing ever, fucking happy smiling. You meet them and they're like, yeah, so coaching. It's like, well, this isn't the person that came across. But to me, that's just having a personality and getting that across. And I think personally, I do that quite well because how I come across on there is how I come across in person. I don't fucking sugarcoat it.
No.
I swear on my content. Some people go, oh, you don't swear on your content because what if someone sees the word shit? It's like, good, I don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
If they get offended, but because all the people I coach in person, I can be how I am now. I can have a laugh with them. I don't have to fucking censor myself. I don't want to work with some jolly goody two shoes that comes in with, fuck that.
Yeah, but I think the point that you were probably trying to make there, even though you went on a massive tangent, was the fact that during this time of year, like as coaches and fitness professionals, like we have a massive pressure to push because theoretically, like most people will say, like this is supposed to be the biggest month of your careers. Like this is where you really need to put everything into the marketing, to the sales. Like you should be recruiting loads of clients. And it's like, well, yeah, we get that. And we understand that maybe now, because motivation is high for a lot of people, now is the time to take advantage of that. And not in a malicious way, but in a way to try and push what we have to offer, because people might be a little bit more open to or receptive to taking it on board, which is obviously great because we know the potential that we can have to positively impact people's lives. But then it's like, are we then targeting the wrong people? Because if we are trying to like recruit the people that only see January as the fresh start, like really Alex and I both want to work with the types of people that are in this for the long run, that are not just starting it because it's a new year, that they're not just starting it because, oh, maybe they want to get shredded for the summer holiday and then sack it all off. Like we want to be with the types of people that regardless of the month or the day of the week, they are ready to invest in themselves, to put in the time and the effort to make their lives better because they want to get stronger, fitter, healthier. And it doesn't matter what day in the calendar that is. Like it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, next month. Like the month is kind of irrelevant. Like it really is. So by pushing that at this time of year, are we then going to be recruiting the type of people that don't care about it the same way that we do? I don't know, like it's a constant battle that we are trying to learn. And I guess that just comes with experience. And again, as you said, like putting your authenticity and your personality out there to make people realize that if you want to work with us, like those values need to align. Otherwise it's not going to work.
I think it definitely takes longer because you're not giving in to all that shit. But I think in the long run, the people that I've got are generally people that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Like I can be myself. They're not like...
And I've definitely noticed a shift this year with, and I think I was telling you this before, like in previous years of coaching, like around December time, I've always had a lot of stress and anxiety with clients either having to stop or pause coaching because they've either decided like they're not going to be able to do much in the December, so like what's the point? Or maybe it's down to financial reasons. And yeah, of course, like to a degree, I completely understand that because Christmas is an expensive time of year. But for those that are kind of putting it on pause because they think they're not going to do anything, so what's the point? It's like, they're not my kind of people, or like that's not the message I spread. It's not the whole point that the plan is built around. And the fact that that's where their headspace is tells me, okay, there's clearly something that you've done in your coaching, in your marketing. Maybe you didn't clarify soon enough in the coaching relationship that actually that didn't need to make a difference. Like whether you've got holidays coming up, celebrations, bank holidays, it could be maybe surgeries. I've definitely had conversations with people like that and they've put it off because they're like, oh, I've got this coming up. And okay, if it's like fucking brain surgery, then I get it. That's going to take a very long time to recover.
You've also had clients that have had,
but yeah,
had surgery,
like if it's minor surgery or keyhole surgery or something, yeah, then maybe that's come in the middle of their coaching experience, and we've just had to learn how to adapt that. But because their headspace was, I'm getting stronger, fitter, healthier. Like this is just another hurdle that we need to learn how to overcome. Then it's cool. Those guys, like we're on the same level there, and we just learn how to adapt and overcome. And it's not been a big problem. But for the people that are like, no, I'll wait for the right time. That's not quite how it, I want to do it. Like I want to do it if I'm only going to get the absolute optimal results, or I'm going to give 100%, because are you ever going to be able to give 110% like of every single week? No, you're not. So why should Christmas make a difference to that? Or like, why should the fact that you might have an operation that is realistically going to put you out for maybe a week, going to stop you from the month prior that you could be making progress, learn how to adapt over that 1 week that you might have to take time off, and then crack on as normal, like continuing. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? I feel like
it does,
that's quite waffly. But
don't worry, I waffle all the time.
But on that, like over the previous years, I've had like that being an issue and thinking like, there's something that I'm clearly not doing right because I'm recruiting the type of people that either aren't hearing my real values and message that I want to get across, or they're just not on the same like page. Whereas this year, I've not had that at all. I've had zero issues with people dropping off, not wanting to continue this time of year, or wanting to delay anything. In fact, I've had the opposite. I've had people coming back to me saying, Christmas is around the corner. I fucking hate the gym in January. I know if I don't make a change now, or if I don't get back on my bullshit now, like January is absolutely going to be the worst month to do it. Can we get ahead of the game and make it happen? And I'm like, yeah, this is the message that I'm trying to say. Like, there's no better time like the present to make the change that you want to do. And if that means me not marketing or pushing coaching the way that we're almost like taught to by business mentors or by the industry, then, you know, that's a price I'm willing to pay, even if it means like I don't get a huge rush in January, because I'd rather recruit the people consistently throughout the year that I value. I value all my clients, but like where our values match, or like, you know, we get on with, or
I'd rather have one come on that actually gives a fuck than 5 that flake after 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, why are we putting the effort in, and why are they putting the effort in to try and work with someone that we're just not compatible? Because, like, that is something as well. Like, not every coach is going to be your type of coach, and we're not going to get on with every single client. And we obviously want to be honest and open about that to make sure that we have the best relationship possible.
The marketing's important, so they know what they're getting and not to lie.
So that was a sign for me that I needed to make a change, and I have, and well, paid off in that sense. So I guess we just need to get better at that.
Like that one scene in Shrek, you know, it's like,
change it. That's a good song. But yeah, I feel like that's probably rounding it up. Anything more to add? Other than the fact, do you like his hoodie? I just realised we're both wearing each other's Christmases presents. How many Christmases do you have?
It has Pokemon on it.
Which is your favourite Pokemon? I know the answer, I'm just asking. Is it? That's not the one you told me. Was this guy? Or you told me that was your favourite, used to be your favourite. Hello. But yeah, no, we're going to round up that there. If you enjoyed this, as always, like, share, comment, let us know. See you next week. Anything to add?
Don't do drugs.
Great advice. Bye.